I'd like to welcome everyone for joining me this afternoon, and we will be focusing on organizing class portraits and creating class pages. The information I will be covering can be found in our memory book manual under the Design and Creation tab starting on page 156. This webinar will be approximately 20 minutes long. Okay, once you've gotten your email letting you know that we've gotten your portraits uploaded, you will find them under the Create tab in the image library. And over here to the left, under Portrait, you'll see a little gray arrow. And when you click on that and expand it, this is where you'll see your class portraits. Just a minute here. Let me see if I can make my screen a little bit larger for everybody. So these folders, this is how when you send in your CD or send us the link and you let us know how you want them sorted, this is how they'll be sorted. So if you ask for just the third grade to be in one group, you'll just have like third grade here, fourth, fifth, so on. And we included no photo in case you're missing some students on picture day. So it's very important for you to organize and go through all your portraits to begin with so that you're not having to reset the flow on a page and then go back and fix some things and come back and flow them. So if you can get organized beforehand, it saves an awful lot of work later on. I'm going to show you how to create a class, a printout of the roster basically, or what students are in the class. So when you click on a folder, you can see up here in the top, there's some buttons where it says preview. When you have a folder selected and you click preview, it's going to create a PDF of all the students in that page with their names, or that folder with their names. So you can either download these and then email them to your teachers or the secretary, someone that can help you organize your class portraits. You can print them if you'd rather have something that they can mark on and make those corrections. But you'll go down through here and then create a preview or a sheet that'll have all of your kids on there. Now, whenever you get your sheet back and you have your corrections you need to make, you'll go to the folder. And the folder here, this number tells me 31 students in here. You're going to go down through here and you're going to check the names and make sure the kids are in the correct classes. Now, if you have a student that's in the wrong group, you'll just click on the image, the thumbnail, and then drag it over to another folder, the correct folder that it needs to be in. Some of these, if you have duplicates maybe and you're not sure which picture to use, you can always drag those over, make a folder, and you can always drag them over into it. Or I will show you a little bit later how to mark those duplicates as do not use. So to fix spellings here in this area, um, you can click on it, the little I, that's the information I, and it'll bring the picture up in two tabs. You have people and details. So if you wanted to edit the name here, you'd click on the little pencil and then you would just change whatever correction or make any correction that you wanted to make. And once you save it, then you'll see that it's the correction has been made. There's another way that you can also make some corrections or check for duplicates in here. If you go to the Create tab and you go to the coverage report, this is basically a spreadsheet of everyone that's in your image library. And you can sort these by last name, first name, grade. The grade won't work if that hasn't been, if that information isn't in there. But over here is times in the book. So if you had all your your candid pictures all tagged, if you put them on a page, it's going to show you that it's in the book once or twice. So if you have the portrait in there once and a candid with the student tagged, it's going to say that they're in there twice. So that's a way to see if everybody's in the book at least once. So if you wanted to make a change on a name, I have a little girl that's the name is Donna and it's in the image library as Dawn. So I'm going to find her name here, and I've put the last names in alphabetical order, sorted it by alphabetical order of the last name, and I'm going to find Kennedy. That's her last name. And of course, this is taking longer since I'm on the webinar with you. Okay, here we go. Okay, here's the student's name right here, Don Kennedy. So if you click on the name, you can make the correction here. And now if we go over to the image library and we go to that folder, we can see that her name's been changed to Donna. You could also go to that coverage report and you could see if a student's name was listed twice, and then you can make a note of what folder it's in or what grade. And then you could go back in there and see if you need to maybe mark one of the duplicates as a do not use. Okay, let's go back here to our image library. So I'm going to show you how to add a no photo. Today we're going to be working with the Martin, the kindergarten class. So when we upload images, we upload a folder full of no photos. So what you can do is click on the one you want to use and just drag it into the folder that you want to have the no photo in. If you'll notice it says last name, first name, we're going to need to tag that. But before we tag that image, we have to remove the tag. So now there's no name associated with that. I'm going to go ahead and add a new name. And I'm just naming the no photo what it should be, saving the changes. And here it is in alphabetical order. Okay, so now that we have these all organized, let's go to a page and get ready to flow them onto the page. We're going to go to the new page designer, and I'm going to be working on page 6. Now, this is a template that I've already saved, and so I just drug it over to the page. And if you'll notice, the portrait, these portrait boxes have the silhouette of a person there. So this is called portrait flow and a flow panel. So we need to have a flow panel on there that's going to accommodate all of our students for their in the class. So let me make this just a little bit smaller so I can. So over here in the flow panel, I'm choosing Martin K. That's the class I want to put on this page. And I have 16 boxes on each page. So I have 32 images and it's telling me I have 32 positions. The name format, we want the first name to come in first and then the last. And then we want images to start on page 6 and stop on page 7. This is an important step. If you don't tell it what pages to put them on, it's going to tell you there aren't enough image boxes, or so you'll have to adjust that to make it so that it'll recognize both pages. So now that I've got those on there, I'm going to go ahead and click the flow button. And if you notice, we've got the students came over and the teacher came in first, and we've got our no photo here. But here at the end, I have a duplicate. So when you notice that, you'll have to reset the flow. And sometimes if you go through and you have the teacher in the folder and it's not marked as a teacher, they'll flow right in through the middle of the class. So you'll want to make sure you mark those teachers as a teacher, and I'll go back and show that to you too. Okay, so I'm going to reset the flow, and by resetting it, it just takes everybody out of the boxes and it automatically saves. So I'm going to go back to the image library and make those changes that I need to make. Going to my Martin folder, and I'm going to mark one of these little girls as do not use. So you'll click on the information eye, and in the details, you'll go to use portrait, you'll click don't use portrait, apply changes, and done. And just for the sake of showing you how to mark a teacher, let me go ahead and put another one in there and show you how to. So we're going to pretend that this lady is the assistant, or so we're going to go ahead and I'm going to click on her information eye. In the details, I'm going to choose teacher. So these two are going to flow in there alphabetically. So Martin will come first, and then Moore will come second, and then the students will come in after them in alphabetical order. Now, if you had the order these go in, teacher, that's the first position, and then assistant would be the second position, and then student come in after those two, and then other will actually come in at the end. So maybe you had an aide or someone, you could mark them as other, and then they would flow alphabetically at the very end. But we're going to mark these both as teachers so that when we flow them on the page again, we'll have two teachers at the beginning. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and click flow. And there we go. It automatically saves also whenever you flow. So we have Mr. Martin and we have Ms. Moore, and then we have all the kids in alphabetical order. I don't see any duplicates, so I think we're good. Now, if you got a picture of little Sam Jones, say the teacher sent you the picture, you could always go in here and upload the picture into the folder, and then instead of you could move this no photo out of here or mark it do not use, and then you would go ahead and tag that new image that the teacher had sent to you and you could upload it into this folder. Okay, I want to show you also, if you've loaded last year's page designs, a lot of times you may not have enough image boxes, or you want to make them bigger, you want to make adjustments, or you want to start from scratch with a new flow panel. You can go here to flow, and these little thumbnails here, you can choose a particular flow panel to put on the page. And if you go up here to flow options and uncheck automatic, because it's going to try to fill this space, and sometimes it makes long skinny boxes or just odd shaped boxes. So you want to uncheck automatic. And now I'm going to adjust the size of these portraits. So I'm going to reduce the number of rows and columns I have. So I'm going to make these a little bit skinnier, and I'm going to make them a little bit shorter. You can also choose different shapes if you wanted here. But what I would do is choose a template for your largest class. So if you had 30 on a page, your image boxes are going to be kind of small. But you would go ahead then and adjust your template to accommodate 30 kids. And that way your portraits would be the same size all throughout the book. So there's 20 boxes. So we would have to make them much smaller to get another 6 times 4 is 24. So you could add another row. So you kind of size your portraits to the largest class so that they'll all be the same size. I'm going to go back to rectangle here. And I would save that. And then if you wanted to make a heading, you can go in here and add the headline. So I would do one of these for the left side and the right side, and then you'll just, whenever you get ready to do another class, you'll just drag that template over. I'll show you how to save it as a template. I'm going to make it a left class and then save, and it'll be over here under designs under my templates. So I would make one for the right, and to copy and paste, you'll just select the image or the element, hit Control C, Control V, and then you have it for the another page. Of course, you'd want to make it lined up and look all nice. So if you were working with this template, let's say, and you needed to add a new flow panel, you just go over here to the flow panel and choose one of these to drag over and then adjust it to fit. And you can always tell when you have a flow panel. Whenever you select it, you're going to get these yellow dotted lines around it, and all of the image boxes are connected together with the text, yes, the text boxes. And if you'll notice here, this has like a landscape icon. That means that that's a click and drag box. So you'll have to go to images and then drag an image into that. So if all of these has this icon in the middle, then you're going to need to put a flow panel on there before you can flow into that. Now let's say you had all your pages all done, and you may come up with a red X across some of these names. That's because the name is longer than the text box that's here. So what you could do is select the image, the flow panel, go up here to your flow options, and you're going to go down to expand flow. And basically what the expand flow does, it just breaks all the elements apart. And now when you click on that flow panel, you have text boxes and you have image boxes. So now if we delete one of those images out of there, see the icon changed to a landscape. So that means that's a click and drag now. Once you expand it, you cannot flow into that flow panel again. You'd have to go over here and put a new one on the page. You'd have to delete everybody and everything off of this little section, and then you'd have to add a new flow panel and adjust it to fit. So let me go over my notes here and make sure I've covered everything. If you have any questions, you can type them in the chat bar and I'll be happy to go over them. And remember, before you submit your pages, be sure to proofread and make sure all your kids are on the pages that you want them on and that they're all there. I believe I've covered everything in my notes. Do we have any questions? We have one question. Is it recorded so I can go over it again? Yes, it is recorded. The link will be sent out later in the week for this one and for the one on Thursday. Okay, I think that's all the questions. Thank you for joining me this afternoon. I hope showing you how to organize your class portraits will save you time when creating your class pages. Please email or call tech support if you need further assistance. We will be happy to walk you through the organizing and flowing process. Hope everyone has a good day.